All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Athlete and Artist Show. I am the artist Kyle Forge, alongside the athlete, professional hockey player Zach Boychuk. Chucky, lots have been going on. Crypto, junior hockey, Dell. You guys just played yesterday. Now off to the Elite Eight, I guess, in NCAA terms for the first time in franchise history. How did the game go? How'd you feel out there?
Yeah, it was a really tough first period, honestly. Sheffield from the English League came out hard on us. They had a 1-0 lead after the first, and um, obviously that total like aggregate score. So we only won by two last game. So it was, basically a one goal game, and then we kind of took over a bit in the second, and had a close finish in the third, but ended up winning 4-2. So it was a big win, closer than when we would have liked. We would have liked to play a little bit better, but now we're moving on to play Zurich in the quarterfinals.
Zurich, they've got a good squad, hey?
Yeah, they're really good. I think I heard, I don't know if it was last year or this year. Um, their budget is like something crazy, like 25 or 26 million dollars
Whoa.
for their team. So a little different than ours. I think I heard our budget was somewhere around like 5 or 6 million. I have no idea if that's true or not, but um, it should be a good test. I think playing against the top Swiss team, they won the championship last year. We're the top German team. I think it'll be a good matchup.
How do the Swiss teams, like the Swiss league, rank against the Dell? Like, are they pretty similar, or is it a bigger spread like the Finnish and Sweden teams?
I would say it's pretty similar. Like they don't have as many imports, so you're relying a lot more on Swiss players, whereas we have, 9 or 10 imports that can play in these Champion League games, which kind of helps a lot. But yeah, I think if you look at the standings, out of the last 8 teams, there's two German teams. I think there's maybe two Swiss teams, a couple Swedish teams, and maybe a couple Finnish teams. I'm not sure what else is left. So it's kind of two from every league. There might be an Austrian team that snuck in. There's some more games tonight, but yeah, it should be a great test. I think Swiss hockey and German hockey are very similar. They play against each other in the World Championships all the time and have really close games. So I'm looking forward to see how we match up against them.
Is it the same structure? Like, is it aggregate where it's like two games and the overall score?
Yeah, we have a home game, I think on December 4th against Zurich, and then we go to Zurich on the 17th or something, I believe. So games in December, a couple extra games, and hopefully we can move on to the Frozen Four.
Nice. So what did you say the first game was? December?
December 4th.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you guys still have to, man. That's kind of the wait in between. Is that, would you rather it just be all right away, or is it? How do you feel about the layoff in between? I know you're still playing regular season in general, but yeah, I mean, I feel like I'd be super excited. I'd just be thinking about the Champions League for like the next 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, no, it's nice to get a little bit of a break, especially when you're traveling far away. We had
That's fair.
quite tough travel against the English team. Going the day before and having some connecting flights. I think it'll be a little bit easier getting to Zurich. It'll probably be direct from Berlin to Zurich. Probably the day of the game, go in, get our nap in, and go play. But we'll see how the schedule sets up. I'm looking forward to getting back to the DEL. We're still first place in the DEL, so we got a couple games this weekend, and then obviously in a couple weeks get back to the Champions League games.
They're not giving you back the private jet to go to Switz.
We'll see. I mean, we have traveled on private jet in Champions League before, so maybe it's a little cheaper going there instead of the English League. We'll see what the budget's at.
I wish I had a PJ flying to Nashville with my cat. That was a that was a trip. That was a process. Let me tell you.
Would have been a little easier taking the cat on board on a private jet, eh?
Yeah, yeah. He wouldn't have been so cooped up in in his case. He got a little hot on the plane. The plane gets pretty hot for him, so I had to give him a little like partial sedation pill just because he was freaking out on the first flight, and he was fine. He slept the rest of it. The second flight, he started off fine, and then someone woke him up with like when they were giving out like the snacks or whatever. And I guess he thought it was treats or food he hadn't eaten yet. So he woke up and then he was crying again. And then he got really hot. I was like, oh man, poor guy. Like, I wish I could just let you out and just hold you so you weren't just stuck in this carrier. But overall, he did pretty good. Didn't cry too much. He did a little bit, but he was a champ.
How's he liking the new digs?
He's getting used to it. It's kind of creaky because it's like a little ranch house, right? So he's anytime I walk up these little stairs here, he's like, just because he hears like the creaks and stuff like that, little sounds. He hears sounds outside, but he had the zoomies this morning. He was running around. He had lots more room, so I think he's starting to enjoy it a little bit.
Oh yeah, I saw one of your stories. He was hiding on you for a little bit.
Yeah, he likes to go under the beds and under the couches here. He'll go under the couch and then sprint to one of the bedrooms, go under the bed, and then sprint out to another room and chase me into the bathroom. He's pretty funny.
Yeah, I think my dogs have the zoomies right now. They're going nuts. Animals are funny.
How do they like traveling back and forth between Canada and Germany?
They've only been on one flight, or I guess two flights technically. It was the first time we've taken them overseas, so it was a long travel day that day. I think in total it was about 17 hours being in cargo. So kind of crazy that they can go that long without food, without water, without having to go to the bathroom. And we got in Berlin, we opened their kennels, and they kind of just acted like nothing happened. We took them outside, they went for a pee, and we got them some food, and was pretty smooth taking them on the flight for the first time.
Man, putting them in cargo scares me. I couldn't do that, especially. I guess dogs are a little bit different than the cat, but ever since Air Canada lost my bags at one time, I'm like, there's no chance. I'm not even risking the fact that you would lose my animal.
Yeah, hopefully they're a little more careful with the dogs, that's for sure. But it sounds like we did a bunch of checks with the airline before, and there's usually a bunch of other animals on board because I think they have to put oxygen obviously in the room, so that costs money in a certain area. And from what I hear, it's all safe. They take good care of them. I think if you have like a 2 or 3 hour layover, they'll take them out, they'll let them go to the bathroom, they'll feed them and put them back in. But we only had like an hour layover, so they just stayed in their crates the whole time and everything was all good.
How do they like the house and stuff when you guys get to Germany? Are they do they just settle in pretty quick? I know dogs are a little bit easier than cats in that way, where they're just happy once they see you, they're kind of cool. They'll sniff around and then they're settled. The cats are like skittish all the time. Like they're like, where am I?
Yeah, no, they've been pretty chill. They've moved a decent amount in their lifetime so far, so they're getting used to a couple different apartments and a couple different houses and stuff. So everything seems to be good. They're happy every day, and it's always a treat coming home to some fun, happy dogs.
That's good. Gotta love animals.
Oh yeah, for sure.
A quick break to hear from our brand new presenting sponsor, Wins.io. To sign up, all you got to do is enter your email, enter your password, and use our promo code AAS to get an exclusive no deposit offer and get 50 free spins on Gates of Wins. Again, that's the bonus code AAS for Athlete Artist Show. You get 50 free spins on Gates of Wins. Your max winnings is $100. Your turnover wager requirements is 40 times. Minimum deposit required for withdrawal verification, and general terms apply. What stands out with Wins? All promotions come with no wagering, and they reward players up to 35% on daily and weekly basis in terms of cashback and rakeback. The loyalty program is called Wins Up, and users can read more about it at wins.io/winsup. That's WINZUP. Again, use our promo code AA Show on sign up and get 50 free spins on Gates of Wins. And now back to the show. Hockey news, man. BCHL. I kind of called it. I mean, I'm not going to give myself all the credit here, but I kind of called it a couple weeks ago when we were talking to Kami and even Merles. But BCHL is starting to tumble. Another, I think it was that first week that they announced that major junior players are going to be allowed in the NCAA. The BCHL lost 29 players leaving the BCHL.
That was right after we recorded the last episode.
Right after
something came out.
Yeah, I was like, damn, we should have hopped back on there. But just this time, right before we started recording today, BCHL is going to be holding an emergency meeting to figure out what they're going to do because even more players have left. Chilliwack, I read, lost, I think, 7 or 9 players themselves in total. I think it was 7. So, I mean,
jeez.
That's like the BCHL's going to be going through some things here. They're going to have to figure out what to do. I know that Brooks and Penticton, I heard, not that I know, but from what I was told by a ref, Brooks and Penticton both applied to join the Western Hockey League. Penticton was approved by Kelowna. Speaking of the dogs. Penticton was approved by Kelowna, and then Lethbridge and Medicine Hat basically told Brooks to fuck off because everybody hates Papiano, their head coach GM. So, it's gonna be. What do you think about what's going on? What do you think happens to the BCHL? What do you think some of them are going to join? The USHL? Do you think there's going to be more teams trying to join the major juniors in the CHL, or what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, expansion is in the works for the WHL. If there's some owners that want to come over and make the league a little bit different, but if obviously, like you said, there are some owners that don't want to let them in, so that could cause big problems for the BCHL. And obviously, they're not with Hockey Canada anymore. They're kind of gone independent. So if you're a player in those leagues and you want to apply back into the WHF and Hockey Canada and back to the transfer cards, I think a lot of players are willing to do that because they know they have a chance at playing in the AJ or playing somewhere that's working with the WHL, and you might get called up to the WHL, play there and play well, and then get drafted, or play there, play well, and that's probably where all the NCAA colleges are picking from now. You got to think they won't be picking as much from the AJ and from the BC. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of that shakes out. But tough for teams like Chilliwack losing 6 or 7 players.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny too because when BC when Brooks, when BC left Hockey Canada, and when Brooks and Black Falls and Okotoks and all those teams left the AJ to go to the BC, they were just poaching guys from all these AJ teams and these SJ teams. Like there were teams that lost 5 to 7 guys to these BC teams. Like Drumheller was one of them. They got absolutely annihilated by these guys. So it's kind of funny seeing it come back and go the other way now. And now the BC teams are getting kind of ran through. And you got to think, like, what's BCHL going to do? I can't see them trying to get back to Hockey Canada. I can't see Hockey Canada even allowing them to come back if they wanted to. So BCHL, do they try to join the USHL? Do they try to join the NAL? I mean, the NAL is going to be nothing in a couple of years too if everyone's going to the major junior or the USHL. But will the USHL? I think the USHL will survive, but BCHL and the NAL, I don't think they're going to be around for much longer at this rate. At least not at a high level.
It's going to be tough to get players to play for those teams for sure. And if they want to join the USHL, I think that travel would be pretty nuts. So hopefully Hockey Canada has a little bit of remorse for them and possibly lets them back in. But should be interesting to see.
Do you think they would let them back in? Because I mean, Hockey Canada's already started building their BC league.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say. Obviously, they're probably not happy that Brooks and some of these other teams left, but with all the changing landscapes, I feel like you want to have a strong league. You want to have good cities. You want to have, you know, places to play for these players. And I think if you're Hockey Canada and you're thinking for the betterment of the players and for the development of hockey, it's probably better to have those teams back. But if they want to be upset that they left, then it's pretty easy just to say, "Oh, too bad, you're out."
Yeah, I mean they did kind of screw everything up, like, and what Hockey Canada has been trying to do it since then, like bringing the KI up to being a junior A league rather than a junior B league, and it's just a mess, man. Junior hockey is an absolute mess right now.
Yeah, it's I wouldn't be want to be part of it. That's for sure. It'll be nice once there's clear rules and regulations and what exactly is going to happen. But there's just so much day to day, week to week things that are going on that it'd be a nightmare for a GM or a coach or owner to trying to figure things out.
Yeah, and especially for Brooks, like if they can't join the dub, then what's gonna happen with Brooks?
Yeah,
Like literally, and everybody hates Brooks. I hate Brooks. I I hate Brooks very much. But junior hockey without Brooks, like what they have a great arena. It smells because it's Brooks, but the great arena. I mean, their history. They win championships every year, every other year. It's like how that town loves their hockey. So guys, look at all the guys that go through there to get to the NCAA, or look at Cale Makar went through there to get to the NCAA and then the NHL. It's like they've been a big development uh, spot for players. They're not always the most player friendly. Like Paps kind of just goes through guys. He just wants to win. He cares more about winning than the actual development of the players. But it'd be weird to see junior hockey without the Brooks Bandits being in junior hockey.
yeah, they're probably gonna have a lot of their players getting poached, so it's gonna be kind of what they've been doing is what's gonna happen to them. So hopefully they find a league to play in or something happens in their favor. I think it'd be pretty sad for the town if um that hockey team kind of dwindled away, but I'm sure there'll be some sort of solution for everyone.
Another thing too, even if they did get to the dub, they're the it's not the same recruitment process. They're gonna have to go into the draft and they have to start drafting players, and then so they're not gonna be
Hmm.
as big of a powerhouse either. I don't think, because they're not just gonna be able to bring guys in from Ontario, bring guys in from overseas, from the U.S. They have to draft these guys. They can't just recruit them anymore. So it's who knows what'll
Yeah,
happen with that.
yeah, and there won't be that many free agents that are, more excited to go to Brooks than go to Calgary or Vancouver or Kelowna or like
Yeah.
now you're talking about some pretty nice cities if they end up joining the WHL. But I think a lot of these smaller towns will just try and beg back to get back into Hockey Canada, or if there's some way that they can still be a feeder to the WHL, and somehow have a big enough league where they can play against those BC teams or play against some American teams, and still feed to the WHL. That's kind of the only way.
Yeah, I agree. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Um, Not the only drama in hockey though. Boston Bruins fired their coach, fired Monty. Man, when you text, I missed that news because I was flying traveling all day yesterday. When you texted me that last night, I was so caught off guard. Like this man has done so much for that program, for that team, that organization. They start
Hey,
they start just under 500, and all of a sudden they just toss him. Like, come on. What do you think about that?
yeah,
Do you think it was time for him to go, or do you think they should have kept him? Like that was this early in the season. At least give this guy the entire year to, maybe at least till the deadline. But at least like you figured they'd give Monty the entire year, from just with how he's built that team.
yeah, and they're still in a wild card spot, aren't they? Like I know it's been a bit of a tough start, and the last 2 years they've been in first place pretty much the whole regular season, and obviously the playoffs were a little bit falling short, and but that's hockey. You end up first place and you run into the Florida Panthers first round, you might end up losing a 7 game series. Like that's the NHL. That's how close it is. So to blame Monty, I'm sure the players for the Bruins are pretty upset that it got to that point, but there's just been so much background noise going on in Boston that they had to kind of nip it at the butt and get him out of there.
Yeah, see, that's a Paps move. That's a Brooks Bandits Paps move. Oh, things are a little bit rough. Okay, see you later. On to the next.
Yeah, it's all about winning. That's the NHL business nowadays.
Yeah, it's I don't know, that one kind of rubs me the wrong way, but here we are. Now the question is, do you think the Bruins are gonna turn it around with their what is it? Their assistant took over the interim.
Yeah, Joe Sacco, I think. His record in the NHL hasn't been that great. It's kind of 50-50, but seems like everybody loves him there, and um, a little change in scenery will hopefully get the boys going in Boston.
Have you been seeing much of Ovi lately?
Is he hurt now?
Yeah, so I mean, he had a little bit of a slow start and then just kind of took off, and then all of a sudden I was seeing not only may he beat Gretzky's record for goals this year, but he may get it done in a lesser amount of games. And
I did see that.
I kept seeing all this news about Ovi, just lighting it up, 2 goals, 2 goals, 2 goals, multiple goal games, and then just as you said, he left the ice with an injury the other day or yesterday, I think. Um,
Yeah, he had a hat trick the one night.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he had a goal or two in the game that he got injured in too.
Jeez, yeah, you don't like to see that, but yeah, I was hoping this year he'd beat the record, and to do it in less games than that Gretzky, that's pretty crazy. But hopefully he's not hurt for too long, and hopefully he's just fine.
Yeah, I just read it says he's week to week. So I mean, hopefully that doesn't take too much time away from his season. That would be crazy to see him break Gretzky's goal record in less games in
Yeah,
this era of hockey.
no, he's by far the best goal scorer of our generation for sure, and so consistent. Like you go through his 19, 20 seasons, he's only missed like 35 games. So hopefully, he's been lucky with injuries. Scoring pretty much 50 goals a year for as long as he's been playing is pretty impressive. I think eventually he'll get to 1,000 goals, but he's got to play a couple more years for that.
Now, do you think Matthews will end up catching Ovi and Gretz in the future? I know he's much younger and still at an earlier stage in his career. I mean, he's been around for a while now, but still earlier than those guys. Do you think Matthews catches up?
I think he's on pace to finish right around there, but it's all about the injuries. I think Matthews is hurt now. To be that consistent and um, for Ovechkin to only miss 35 games, I think even Crosby, he missed almost like 2 years worth of injuries, and Matthews now I think he's flying to Munich or something to get something checked out. So
Oh wow.
if he can figure things out on that side, I definitely think he's one of the best goal scorers of our generation as well. But to stay healthy and do it for that long, I think it'd be pretty tough.
Yeah. Man, can these guys just shoot the puck? Like the way that comes off their stick, like it's something else to see. Now, someone who's having trouble scoring, Bedsy, Connor Bedard, he's getting assist after assist. I see him. I think he had two assists last night when I checked it, but guy just can't put it in the net. He's gonna have like 80 assists and 10 goals this year.
Yeah, that's kind of the way it goes sometimes. Like really depending on, who your line mates are and stuff, it can really change. And you saw all the goals that he scored in junior and for Team Canada at the World Juniors. Like you just thought this guy was gonna come in and possibly score 50, and be one of those, shoot first kind of big time goal scorer guys. But he's got the puck on his stick for a lot of the game. and he can also make plays. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to be getting a ton of assists, but I definitely would like to shoot to see some more puck luck, and I'm sure his shooting percentage isn't great right now. But I mean, you look at some of the greats like Crosby and McDavid. Like McDavid, what did he have? 100 assists last year, and only 30 goals, which that's a pretty good season. But
Yeah.
the year before he had like 60 or 70 goals or something crazy. So from year to year, I think depends on your line mates and your shoot first mentality, pass mentality, and um, like to see Bedsy get on the score sheet a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's the thing about the line mates too is they're not very deep. So and he's been playing with like Dickinson and some of these guys that have no business playing with him. And I know they've tried him. I think with Halsey and Turbo, but it's like you got to put him with the best players on the team. You can't have him with these fourth line guys that are just here until you get a couple more draft picks and some free agents. Like,
Yeah, I really thought Chicago was going to take more of a step this year, but they're obviously still a year or two away. They need their core young guys to get better, and um, I still think they're an exciting team to watch because of Bedard. But um, you think a superstar like that should be should be near the top of the league in scoring, and should have a couple of really good line mates to play with every night.
yeah, something that is getting better though. Crypto, man, we just keep seeing the charts. Bitcoin crossed 95,000 US dollars, which is just
Insane.
insane. Just a couple weeks ago, it was dipping below 70. Like, just to see how much it's pumped in the last, I mean, since the election and going into the election. But it's great to see, especially for us, for people that had some history in the crypto game and been involved for a bit. I'm hoping to see just the entire community start buzzing again. ETH's trailing a little bit far behind, which I don't like to see. I'd like to see ETH get back up to like 3,500 to 4,000, but hopefully that'll come. But yeah, Bitcoin and Solana, I know you were mentioning before is pumping right now too, which seems to be where all the meme coins are now.
Yeah, everybody's been watching Doge, I guess, since
Yeah,
Elon has been part of that Department of Government Efficiency. And nowadays, if you want to buy meme coins, a lot of them are on Solana. So people are buying up Solana, buying up these new meme coins that launch every day, and it's basically like going to the casino, going to the crypto casino, and hoping for the best. But no, it's great to see Bitcoin do well, and all these other altcoins will probably follow suit soon. I think some are obviously doing really well. Doge is at almost 38 cents, so I'd love to see that get back to an all-time high, or get to a dollar, kind of like what everybody has always said throughout the years. From turn from like a joke a thing, and now it's quite the movement. So
yeah,
I love checking the crypto stuff. It's so like when things are going well, everybody's talking about it, and when it's a bear market, nobody wants to talk about it.
yeah.
So love it when things are going well.
Yeah, and like one of the things that I love about crypto too is, like you said, when it's going well, the communities are better than pretty much anything out there. Like everyone gets so excited, everyone's pumping X, everyone's pumping Telegram chats, like everyone's just they have their project that they're really invested in and believe in it, and they're just so excited about it and shill it and talk about it all the time. And what do you think? I heard about something about XRP. Like there's only 1% of it left, and once you buy it, it's gone. So what do you think is going on with XRP, and do you think that's going to be a big one that makes a lot of people rich?
Yeah, there's so many conspiracy theories with XRP. Like they kind of think it's gonna be like the US style of gold or the US currency, but and Trump is kind of saying that a lot of these currencies or crypto coins, whatever you want to call them, that if they're based in and founded in the US, then you won't get taxed on them. So I think you
Oh,
might see a lot of coins either move to the US or be founded in the US so that you can kind of avoid the gains on the capital gains and stuff. So XRP is definitely a good one. I think their founder was kind of saying that they're going to be involved with the government a little bit, but it's also these founders like Cardano, they're also saying the similar thing, and um, you really don't know which one's going to end up being the winner.
yeah. I mean, XRP up 450% in the last like 24 hours. 1.7 billion in 24 hours. Like crazy,
Yeah,
crazy.
these coins go up big, especially when there's news. I think the SEC, Gary Gensler, he basically said he was stepping down or not going to being renewed, and they were going after him pretty hard in a lawsuit. So XRP went up because of that, and then Cardano went up because their founder is possibly meeting up with Trump. So there's a lot of different moving parts, but it seems like overall crypto's been really pumping, especially since Trump won the election.
Surprised we haven't seen a goodbye Gary coin pop out yet.
I saw Gary Gonsler, so
Oh,
he's
okay.
gone.
Nice.
I think people are happy that he's gone and can at least pull off take a little bit of pressure off the lawsuits and some of the regulations, and it'd be nice to get somebody in there that is going to be a little bit more pro crypto and get a little bit more of a feel on which direction it's going to go.
Yeah, this it's exciting times for crypto right now. Um, do you think ETH will make a comeback in terms of itself, like the overall price for itself, but also in the meme coin space? Or do you think Solana's kind of taken over?
Yeah, I don't think it'll be that big in the meme coin space just because with all the fees of trading it and Solana's really taken over in that regard, but Ethereum has a huge foundation in the crypto space that is going to be around for a long time. Obviously, with their stable coins and their blockchain that a lot of people use still to this day. They were just kind of the first guys in there. It's just an easy chain to build on once they figure out their fees, and they're obviously still changing from crypto mining, which is proof of work, to they're moving it over to proof of stake. So a lot of people have to stake their coins, and everything's a little bit more complicated with Ethereum, but down the road it'll be a little bit better option as opposed to Bitcoin. But Solana just seems like it's moving in a direction where they're constantly building, constantly making things faster. There's no fees to trade, and um, I could definitely see Solana close the gap with ETH and Bitcoin. But Bitcoin's obviously number one, and will probably be number one for quite a while.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with everything. Um, Man, that'll be great for crypto with the SEC getting a new head. Like we said, the election with Trump in and Elon and these guys in government that's very crypto friendly, which is great. No matter what your political beliefs are, if you love crypto, then it's a fun time right now. Uh, Chucky, anything else that you wanna cover before we get out of here?
No, I think that's pretty good. Hope things go well in Nashville for you.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun. It's settling in, but we're about to get going here, so it'll be definitely no snow, which is nice. It's not as cold. It's a little
No snow
rainy,
yet,
but
eh?
I'll take no snow in Nashville. It might snow once a year in Nashville if they're lucky.
You got your phone all figured out yet, or is it still a work in progress?
uh, I'm not quite sure yet.
You
I'm
just
not quite
staying
sure
on the
yet.
Wi-Fi.
I have roaming turned off on my Canadian number, so hopefully I'm not getting charged a bunch every day. But I guess we'll see when I get the bill.
Keep an
All right,
eye
man.
on that one for sure.
Yep. Big thanks, Wins. Big thanks, Rubble. We'll be streaming this week. Yeah. We will see you guys at the stream and then see you guys next week. Hopefully we have a guest next week. We've been talking to a couple people, just getting some schedules worked out. But yeah, back with a guest soon, and we will see you guys next week.
Peace.